This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.
Welcome back. Brazil has a new president, Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. The leftists beat out far-right incumbent president Jair Bolsonaro during the country's presidential elections on Sunday. Lula, who won with 50.9% of the vote, was the president of Brazil between 2003 and 2010. According to international media, Lula made a stunning comeback for a politician who could not run in the last presidential election in 2018 because he was in jail and banned from standing for office. He had been found guilty of receiving a bribe from a Brazilian construction firm in return for contracts with Brazil's state oil company. After spending 580 days in jail, his conviction was annulled and he returned to politics. Since the announcement of his win, congratulations have been coming in from leaders around the world, including United States President Joe Biden and our very own Prime Minister Philip Davis. In a statement from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs on Sunday, Prime Minister Davis publicly offered his congratulations to the president, or to President Lula da Silva, along with Minister of Foreign Affairs Fred Mitchell, who expressed the same via a communication with Brazil's ambassador to the Bahamas, Claudio Lins. The statement further noting that the government looks forward to a prosperous and bright future for the nation of Brazil and its people, with continued diplomatic relationships between the Bahamas and Brazil. The country's economy continues to recover at a healthy pace from setbacks as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, according to Central Bank of the Bahamas Governor John Roll, speaking with reporters during a press conference held via Zoom, updating the Bahamians on the quarterly economic developments. However, despite this positive news, Mr. Roll further revealed that the economy faces increased inflation through higher costs and accredited goods and services.
This reflects a steady tourism rebound and increasing foreign investment inflows. As expected, the uptrend has contributed to a marked improvement in the government's budgetary performance through a sizable reduction in the fiscal deficit and increased sustainability of financing in the domestic markets.
While the growth outlook is positive, the risks to the economy are expected to stay elevated over the medium term, largely as a result of the uncertainties in the international environment.
Speaking on the tourism sector, Mr. Roll revealed they expect the industry to complete its recovery throughout 2023, with monthly seasonal performances of the cruise market having already eclipsed pre-pandemic levels. However, as far as stopovers, the monthly gap is still closing.
The monthly comparison shows that air arrivals in August had regained approximately 90% of the pre-pandemic highs, while in the month-over-month comparison, the 2019 outcomes could be matched by the end of the third quarter of 2022. The central bank's baseline measure for complete recovery is still a comparison of the closing months of the year against the final 4 months of 2018. This was a record performance period that predated both the pandemic and Hurricane Dorian.
Private sector foreign currency inflows to commercial banks are on course to surpass pre-COVID records for 2022, according to the central bank governor. He says this information reflects the added, seemingly increased desire from significant and rising foreign investment inflows and residential real estate and tourism infrastructure. He underlined this information by stating that over the first 9 months of 2022, measured foreign exchange inflows have increased by roughly 40% in comparison to 2021.
This leaves the forecasted outcome for 2022 on course to outpace the pre-pandemic high of $6 billion that was recorded in 2018. Within the more sustainable mix of foreign exchange inflows and usage, the private sector contributed to nearly half of the estimated $746 million growth in external reserves over the first 9 months of 2022. In 2021, by contrast, the sector was still making a net drawdown on the reserves at this point in the estimation. As of today's date, the reserves are approximately $3.0 billion. Over the remainder of 2022, those balances are expected to decrease further in line with the normal seasonal pattern of elevated third and fourth quarter net imports. However, the balances are still expected to close out the year higher than they were at the end of 2021.
When asked if the Central Bank of the Bahamas will revise its estimates for the expected growth of the Bahamas economy akin to the International Monetary Fund revising their estimates for economy growth, Mr. Rolls says, though the Central Bank and the IMF's estimates may not agree to the exact decimal point, both estimates are within the same range, adding that the IMF's revised estimates are actually responding to the trend that has been documented in the domestic sector. Tourism officials are off to Canada this week to continue their Global Sales and Marketing Mission series. After successful tours of the United States, Tourism Investments and Aviation Minister Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper will lead a delegation of senior tourism officials, Bahamian hotel partners, sales and trade representatives, and destination representatives on back-to-back events in Canada. Beginning today, Monday, October 31st, officials will be in Calgary and then head to Toronto for 2 days before wrapping up the trip on Thursday, November 3rd in Montreal. These events are intended to solidify relationships with tourism partners and boost visitor arrivals to the Bahamas from those areas. Deputy Prime Minister Cooper will be the featured speaker, and guests will get a taste of Bahamian culture at these cross-country events. The delegation will highlight the Bahamas' steadily growing tourism numbers, plans for future growth and innovation, and the beauty and appeal of its 16 islands, and the many reasons why the Bahamas continues to be a sought-after destination for Canadians. The Bahamas Ministry of Tourism will also be heading to Atlanta, Georgia, Houston, and Dallas, Texas, as well as Los Angeles, California in the future. Once the missions to the major travel hubs across the United States and Canada have been completed, the tourism delegation will visit Latin America and Europe to inspire travel to the islands of the Bahamas. And finally, Bahamas Striping Group of companies not only doing work on projects throughout the Exumas, the group also continuing its labor of love, partnering with one of the local Junkanoo groups on Exuma, the musical youth Junkanoo Group. President and CEO of Bahamas Striping Group of companies, Atario Mitchell, during his presentation to the group says the donation is to give the Junkanooers a head start for the upcoming Junkanoo season.
As a part of our company philosophy is always giving back. We saw it fit to partner with the musical groups of Exuma to donate to them a $5,000 check to help them with this upcoming Junkanoo parade. The country has seen what we did in Gaza. We want to extend it here to Exuma as well. Knowing the fact that our company Caribbean Pavement is here on the island doing work, to make sure that we do something here in Exuma as well.
Leader Ricardo Roll received the check on behalf of the group and says he is appreciative for the assistance, adding that prior to this donation, there has not been any other donation from corporate Bahamas. Roll says that the seed will go a long way for the group.
Been fighting and struggling to find sponsorship for a little while now, and to date actually, this is really the first person that came on board to give to us, and we really appreciate this and forever grateful. The group is about 100 to 120 members, and we need a whole heap of raw materials like crepe paper, contact glue, and all that stuff. So, send this off to NASA to get stuff right away. We cannot do this without good-hearted people in the community. And like I say, we really appreciate Bahamas Striping for this, and we're gonna find a way to not pay them back, but to partner with them to highlight their efforts in Exuma and the country if possible.
Like islands and Junkanoos across the country, the Exuma groups are eager to rush again for the first time since the COVID-19 pandemic shut the world down. Exuma will hold its parade on January 10th during the Majority Rule holiday. And that'll do it for your JCN Evening News. Once again, I'm Dorino Saunders. Thanks so much for joining us.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.